guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're back here at West Shore Mazda in Tampa, Florida, because guess what? We have their Mazda's number one selling vehicle, and it's not, as you can see, a Miata. This is it. This is a 2022 refresh, changed up, updated Mazda CX-5. Ours is the CX-5 Turbo. But before we get into this compact, all-wheel drive standard SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. If you never knew the story about Mazda, you would think that they started off as a car company. Well, that's not true. They actually started all the way back in 1929, and they were a producer of cork. Yes, cork. The things that are in wine bottles, the boards that you hang on your wall and put thumbtacks into. They eventually would grow to be that auto manufacturer that we all come to know is about driving engagement. Now, when did that happen? It happened back in 1933 with a three-wheeled small pickup truck called the Mazda Go. And guess what? As they say, the rest is history. Fast forward to 2022. No, we don't have rotary-powered Mazdas anymore, but Mazda is still bringing the Zoom Zoom, even though they won't say that anymore. They will not say Zoom Zoom. Even if you pay them $100 at an auto show, nobody working for Mazda will say it. Well, guess what? We're here to showcase some Zoom Zoom and some changes to the new CX-5 Turbo. Not only have they changed the outside with certain elements, but also the interior and the way that they actually do the trims. The Turbo is now second from the top. Obviously, the top trim is going to still be Turbo Signature, but this is one level down, and I think you're going to be quite surprised with what they are bringing for the price. Now, in this compact SUV segment, there's not many that have turbos, especially one that has some get up and go. New for 2022 is that Nissan Rogue with the VC Turbo. So I figured, why not compare the two and talk about, is this really a sport SUV that you should be buying? So let's go ahead, let's dive into this pure white. I mean, it is one of the brightest whites I've ever seen of a CX-5. See what's different, see how it stacks up against that Rogue with the VC Turbo, and if it really is a sport SUV, let's find out. Right off the bat, love the color, especially with some of the changes that we have for 2022. Now, at the front of the business, you're gonna get the revised headlight design. Adaptive LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps, and turn signals. Of course, you're still gonna get that clean style. No fake vents, nothing stuck on. Now, one of the big changes is that with this turbo trim, no more flat black. You actually have gloss black instead of the flat black, and I think it works really well with the pure white that we have on this particular CX-5. Now, coming across the front end, you're gonna get that traditional grille. And it's interesting because this overall design of the CX-5 has been around since 2016, and that has been the testament of how this is a timeless shape and a very good shape to be going this strong. Gloss black. You'll notice on the Turbo, they decided to bring a little bit of soul red to the actual grille. I wish they would have done something a little bit more, because it kind of looks like, well, on this particular day, they had some red extra pieces and they decided to stick them on at the factory. So this is one way to tell it's a turbo, but it's really an interesting way that they decided to go in. You got your massive Mazda badge in the center, and then as you work your way down, we have some of that gloss black, and then the huge intercooler for that turbocharged inline four. Now, the only flat black we have is along the very bottom edge, and that makes sense because of how close it is to the road when it comes to road debris. I also like the black chrome. This is gloss black. This is actually black chrome, and that's a nice kind of tint to the front end. Now, when we get up onto that low slung hood, clean lines, and that's the thing is when you're comparing this to the Rogue, this definitely has the sportier shape, especially at the front end of the business. Now, as we come around the bend, you're gonna see some more changes. First of all, around the fender opening, no more flat black. We got the black, gloss black. Let me know how you feel about that. If you go up to Signature, which is the top trim, it's all painted. So you can, for the first time, get a CX-5 all color matched if you wanted to. New wheels, multi-spoke design for 2022 to go with the changes to the front and to the back. It's a 19-inch wheel, 225 on the width, 55 series sidewall, and then guess what? This comes standard. All CX-5s come standard with all-wheel drive. That used to be a $1,300 option, all standard. And I like the way they did the gloss black. We got these little love bugs flying all over the place. And if you don't know what one of those are, use the Google. They're kind of interesting kind of bug. But we're gonna keep the show rolling no matter how hot and how many bugs are all over me. Let's continue. Show must go on. So you got this nice pearlescent white, gloss black on the mirror caps with your turn signals. The one thing I'm gonna zonk, why, oh why, do we have all this black and then we have bright shiny metalwork along the bottom of the window frames? This should be that black chrome. So that's one place where they went wrong, but I do like the way they have the color matched door handles. You'll notice no flat black along the bottom. It's all gloss black. I also like the sporty look of this one without the roof rails. No roof rails, no crossbars. Really gives it a sleek look. Working your way towards the rear, you got a color matched shark fin antenna, and then coming all the way back, what do we have? We have updated taillights, full LED, some of the best in the business, way better than the taillights on the Rogue. Even though those don't look terrible, this just looks more like a sports car taillight. I wish they would have done something with the spoilers. So this is gonna be a zonk. It's a little too stubby. I wish on the Turbo it just extended a little bit further back. Of course, you know how I feel about this guy. And why not put some black badges? If we got all this black, make the Mazda badge black, the CX-5 with the all-wheel drive black. But as we come down, they decided to bring some of that gloss black from the front to the rear, a little bit of flat black, and then of course we now have a slash cut, little bit larger opening of an exhaust tip on both sides. Gives it a balanced look, but why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and check out the turbocharged power of the CX-5. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod, but the Rogue has one as well. The one thing I don't like about the prop rod on the Mazda is I wish it was a little further over to the right, out of the way. But what do we have? We have that same setup that we've shown to you in many other Mazdas, including the CX-5 over time. But guess what? We have a little bit more. It's a 2.5 liter turbocharged inline four, now putting out 256 horsepower, 320 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 6-speed automatic. So unlike the Rogue has a CVT. Ugh, gross. This has a 6-speed automatic. Another big difference is that this is a traditional turbo setup, whereas the Rogue VC turbo, the VC stands for variable compression. So it's a little bit different turbo technology. But at the end of the day, you're looking at 0 to 60 with the all-wheel drive in about 5.9 seconds. MPGs, 22 in the city, 27 on the highway. The vehicle weighs 3,809 pounds, and you could tow up to 2,000 pounds with the turbocharged CX-5. But you know what? Let's go ahead, let's fire up this turbocharged SUV and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2022 updated, changed up CX-5 Turbo. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm liking the slight changes that they made. I've been wanting a CX-5, but I've also been eyeballing the Rogue. How much is this? So MSRP with the all-wheel drive being standard and this now being second from the top of the trims, you're looking at $38,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. You're gonna get that nice luxury style without the high premium luxury price. Soft touch material up top. The one thing I'm a little confused about is that there's different colors of stitching. You'll notice up top you have gray contrast stitching, and then as you work your way down, you have red contrast stitching. Now I know because this is a turbo, they went with the red stitching. It would have been nice to just have one or the other. I would prefer just the red everywhere. The big zonk is the gloss black on the door pocket. The good news though is that on that door pocket itself, you actually have a lot of storage. You could easily get, I would say, 2 12-inch meatball subs from Subway with extra parm. and a nice tall bottle of Shasta to wash it down. Bose sound system on the turbo trim, and then going from the door panel to the dash, more of that soft touch material. But here's what I was telling you about. This should be red. Maybe they ran out of red yarn or something at the factory. So I would like to see this be red. I do like this textured material that they have, not only here on the dash, but also on the door panels. Gives it a nice look. And then what are you gonna get? You're gonna get that 10.25 infotainment system. Now I know most of you will zonk it because it's not a touch screen. I think the one thing that bothers me is that it's just boring. Like, this is the home page. I could use my direct drive control knob to go into the different things. And yes, maybe you might have navigation or entertainment, but how about on the home page? It would be nice to have something going on here. Maybe show me a Mazda, have the Mazda badge, a map of Japan. I don't know. Give me something. But when you throw it into reverse, you get a nice clear resolution on the camera with the trajectory lines. They don't move with the steering wheel though. That's a little bit of a bumper, and I wish it was just a little bit wider. But you know what? The way that they position this is at the perfect sight level. Working your way down, you got the nicely styled AC vents, your start stop button. We got a heated steering wheel. You got heated seats, 3 stages, but look at this. Ventilated seats, 3 stages as well. You got your dual climate controls, wireless charging, and a 12 volt in there if you're gonna go old school or get a radar detector. A little bit more gloss black, and as you can see, fingerprint city. It's like finger painting back when you were a kid in kindergarten. So I wish that they would give me something a little different, maybe this material over here and put it down here. But I do like the way they brought the red stitching on the shift boot. This is gonna control the 6-speed automatic. You got your MI drive controller switch. I'll show you more of that when you come to the business side of things. Stitching on the side. Flat black here, which I like, because look, no fingerprints, Mom. And then you got your direct drive control knob, 2 cup holders. And what's great about the location is you could put your bigger Yeti cans here. Whereas some of the other Mazdas have the cup holders here. Here you could put your Bigfoot Sasquatch can and a Yeti can. Have them together. And then key fob. Turn it sideways, there's your buttons. One thing I was thinking about, what would happen if a Yeti and a Sasquatch hooked up? I don't know, that's just one of those questions in life that you just ask. Soft touch material with the red stitching. So they got you there. Open it up. You got a nice little felt line tray. What you could do is you could keep some of your favorite shells that you collected at the beach, at the seashore when you were a kid. And you got 2 USB-As, another 12 volt, and a place for time in a bottle. So if you have time in a bottle, you could put that in there and hold on to your time as long as you want to. Because time is one of the most valuable things that we have. Close it up, seats. Love the material. Stitching is on point. See what I did there? Needle point. Stitching all the way down. Electric assist for the passenger. Electric assist for the driver. The one thing I'm a little bummed out about is what's up top. Standard sunroof. I would think a panoramic sunroof is in order for this turbo. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of the CX-5. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You get 2 memory seat settings, and you got your seat controls that are very easy to get to, all in one area. And then, like I said, I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here. I love the way Mazda designs their steering wheels. Nice thickness, the leather is great, everything is flat black. You do have paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down that 6-speed automatic, manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. You got a head-up display, and you got that nice large digital speedometer area in the center. What's great is now with the new modes, you got sport, normal, and off-road, although you'd have to be crazy to go off-road in this particular very pretty CX-5, but we're gonna keep it in sport. You got that nice red. Everything else is gonna be analog based with your tach, your coolant, and your fuel gauge. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the back seat and see how your passengers are gonna like that you went for the turbo instead of the base model with the CX-5. All right, guys, back seat time, and I'm telling you, just like the sporty touches on the outside, there's definitely sporty touches back here. I like the way they just went black with the headliner. Makes it all nice in unison. Backs of the seats, that soft touch material. You got large pockets. You could easily put, I would say, 3 bags of beef jerky back here. Maybe get some turkey jerky, some bison jerky, and some traditional beef jerky. Get those bags back there. You have 2 AC vents, but what's going on here? No connectivity? Question mark? Hold that thought. I got my own pocket here so I could get some of my favorite jerky. I remember when I used to teach, I had a few jerkies in the classroom. But anyways, I feel good. There's plenty of room back here. Here is the surprise. You ready? That wasn't me. That's the noise that it makes. 2 cup holders. You got heated seats, 3 stages, and not only do you have a nice tray for your Skittles with some felt lining, but you got your USBs. Very smart the way that they do that. That way you don't have wires hanging all over the place. And it looks like, you know, some type of crazy Christmas light decoration with wires going every which way. I'm very happy to report that they did the red stitching on the back. Let me know what you think about seatbelts. Should these be red? They do add 5 extra horsepower, but why don't we go ahead, let's check out the cargo area because I want to go on throttle in this CX-5 Turbo. All right guys, time to get in that cargo area. Hit the button, nice electric assist, comes up at a pretty good pace, and then what are you going to be greeted to? You're going to be greeted to plenty of cargo room. How much cargo room you want to know? I got the numbers. Around 31 cubic feet of space with the seats up. Of course the seats can fold down, and you do that so easily by pulling these handles to flip the seats down. Nice low cargo floor for the most part on an SUV. And then of course on top of that, you are going to get a nice size spare. And this is the Bose subwoofer. Bump it a bump bump bump. That's going to make the thumps. But you know what? I want to find out just how sporty this CX-5 is. If you're ready, I'm ready. We got a turbo. Let's go on throttle in this 2022 CX-5. All right, guys, we're in this 2022 Mazda CX-5 Turbo. If you're ready, I'm ready. We're gonna go on throttle from a roll here. On throttle, here we go. 6-speed drops down and we are off and running. Wow. Definitely getting faster acceleration with the 2.5 liter turbo. We got it in sport mode, so that is going to adjust how the transmission and the engine behaves with one another, but I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with how this CX-5 Turbo accelerates. Now, yes, it has a 6-speed automatic where some of the other competitors have 8-speed or 9-speed automatics. It still gets the job done very, very well, and it's definitely better than the CVT that is in the Nissan Rogue. So that's one way to look at it. Getting to all the controls is well within reach, and say what you want about the non-touchscreen, it is very easy to navigate through it once you get the hang of it. It really is not that big of a deal. But of course you have navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Seats are super comfy and they look really, really good. Plus, they're ventilated and they're heated. So you're getting those nice touches. I'm gonna come to a complete stop and we're gonna go on throttle from a dead stop. Okay, are you ready? On throttle, here we go. Look at that. Gets the power down and we are off and running. Very, very smooth shifts, which is great. And then I think one thing that Mazda just hits the nail on the head is with steering. The way that this CX-5 drives is probably the most connected compact SUV at this price point. We're not comparing it to anything from BMW or Audi or Mercedes AMG, but at this price point, you're really getting not only nice finishes, but also a wonderful driving experience. But it's quiet inside the cabin. They did bump up the sound deadening material for 2022, and the ride quality from the suspension is very pleasant, but also very responsive. And that really is the difficult task, to have both things like that in one setting. All right, guys, we're gonna make a right-hand turn here. We're gonna go on throttle. I'm actually gonna put it in manual shift mode. I'm going to now use the paddles to go up and down the 6-speed automatic. So you get a little bit of a gear indicator at the bottom. And then once we get a little bit of space here, we're gonna go on throttle using these paddles here. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Here we go. On throttle, here we go, second gear. Nice, look at that. So really, really responsive going through the gears, and It's nice to have the paddles for those that want to actually shift through the gears manually, which is great. All right, guys, we're gonna go on throttle using the paddles. First gear, on throttle, here we go. Nice acceleration. You're getting a good sound as well. It's nothing that's like vibrating or anything like that, nothing buzzy, and it gets the power down so effectively, which is the most important thing for an all-wheel drive. Obviously, that power could be sent from the front to the rear, and yes, when you are driving on the highway like we are right now, it will disengage the rear so that you're just on front-wheel drive to help maximize the MPGs. But even driving on this concrete highway with the expansion joints, it's very, very smooth and it's very comfortable and quiet. So they definitely did one heck of a job, especially when we're comparing it to the Rogue. Rogue Platinum has some nice finishes as well, but this is definitely the driver's sporty SUV compared to the Rogue. But we're gonna get back to West Shore Mazda and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day here at West Shore Mazda. I definitely gotta thank Ray and the rest of the crew getting us access to this pearl white CX-5 Turbo with the changes. Let me know what you think. Has Mazda done enough? Is this still your go-to for a sport SUV? Is it a sport SUV? Would you consider this sporty, especially when it comes to the acceleration and the performance? But let me know in the comment section which way you would go with this over the Rogue. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. We got to give it up to the Rock behind the lens. Lori working that camera like a champ. Show her some love in that comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.